colt with her, untie them and bring them to me. I think the Markan thought brings to bear that it's an unridden donkey. That's important. We'll get to that. And if anyone says anything to you, say this to them: the Lord needs them, and he will send them immediately. This took place to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophets, saying, this is in Zechariah, tell the daughter of Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey. The disciples went and did Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and put the cloaks on them, and he sat on them. And out of nowhere, when Jesus starts riding, a very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds then went ahead of him, Hosanna, which means save now, to the Son of David. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. I want to talk, if you let me, from the subject, a true picture of a king. Just look at your neighbor and say, that's what a true king looks like. Yeah, true picture. Oftentimes, the world's view of kingship or leadership or authority or baller or shot caller is quite different from that of the biblical blueprint. Because oftentimes when we see king or we see leaders, we think of one who has great authority, who's often bombastic. When you look at videos, young people, you look at videos that even they have rappers on thrones. And they have rappers on thrones with an excess of creature comforts. You'll have one rapper that has 39 Bentleys. You'll have another rapper that has 29 women, where most kings that we see become misogynists in the sense that they use women at their pleasure. Not only that, when we think of kings from the world's perspective, we see kings that use people as subjects at their command. There's one king, and I think it's in Saudi Arabia, where he has a car for every day of the week. I'm not talking 7 days. I'm talking he drives a new car every day, really, of the year. So when we think of kings, we don't think of humility. We've even created words to package the arrogance of authority. The newscasters are on the air, and they're saying Donald Trump is just hubris, bombastic. No, he's just arrogant. He's just a self-made fool. Can I take my time this morning? It's all right. The young people have even coined a word to hide arrogance. They've even called it swagger. Rappers talk and rap. I just got to get my swagger back while they're on their way to hell. What does it profit a man to gain the whole swagger and lose his soul? But today we're confronted with a different picture of what kingship is. Today, Jesus shows us what true kingship is, and it's quite challenging to a westernized postmodern view of authority. He shifts what we think kingship is and shows us that real kingship is about sacrifice and humility. I got to work here, but I don't mind working, you see. Here's my assertion, is that if you have a proper view of Christ, then you will have a proper view of yourself, and you won't think more highly than you ought to think. Let me work this thing a little bit. Have you ever been around somebody that thinks they all that and a bag of chips? And the truth be told, they walking around like the whole world revolves around them. And you just want to tell them, sweetheart, Mr. My brother, you ain't all of that. You just want to give them a reality check. You still live at home with your mama. You still got a beeper. Calm down and get Christ. I got to work here. I got to work here. I got to work. I got to work. There's nothing unattractive, more unattractive than an arrogant individual. And I'm going to be honest with us. We all have to remember, Alpha, that the places we are, the things that God has given, we cannot take any credit for it. And every time we come to church, we ought to be thankful because we're humbled at the fact that we serve a God that will still not only save us, but use us to win people. Is there anybody here besides me this morning that's still in awe at the fact that God still wants to use you? Just look at your neighbor, say, God still wants to use you. So it's significant here because we're in Matthew, and the triumphal entry is significant because if you notice, the triumphal entry is in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's in all of the synoptics from the same Quella, which is Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And then it's in the asynoptic, the different one, which is John, because all of these are significant. Now, Matthew is writing from a different lens. He's writing from the lens because he's trying to depict Jesus as the King of the Jews. He's trying to let them know that the one that they're about to crucify is the Jesus or the Messiah or the King that they've been waiting for. The problem is the reason why Jews rejected the Messiah or rejected Jesus was because Jesus did not come in the package that they believed. You see, oh yeah, I got to work that a little bit, young folk. Let me work that. Can I work that a little bit? See, because the Jews rejected all of the blessing and all of the covenant relationship of a salvific relationship, because when they saw Jesus, they wanted to see a mighty warrior. The problem is they got thrown at the look of Jesus, one, because they were concerned about where Jesus was from. They had a problem with the fact that Jesus was from an old ghetto town called Nazareth. Secondly, they had a problem because isn't that the carpenter's son? Third, they had a problem because if you're going to be Jesus, then you need to be creating a military coup that we're able to have a revolution. But the problem why they missed Jesus was because they got caught up in the package. Let me work that a little bit. Let me work that, young people. Young people. No, let me not young people, all people. Sometimes we miss God because we get caught up in the package. There's some of you right now that are stuck in your life because you met somebody and you like the package. Y'all getting quiet on me in here now. Some of you dated somebody that didn't have a lick of sense, but you like the package. Okay, let me get a little plainer since y'all deep. He had biceps, triceps. Come on, help me here. And he had his mama's car, but you didn't know it, but you liked him. Come on, help me here. Y'all remember when light skin was in? He was like, I'll be sure. Help me preach up in here. Okay, dark skin's in. He was like Wesley Snipes. Help me up in here. And you didn't care the fact that he never had a job. You didn't care the fact that he lived in the basement. I just love him. Why? Because of the package. Okay, let me help you. Y'all, the men know, the men. Oh, come on. You saw her, you liked it her. And I did that on purpose, baby. I promise. Don't. We ain't gonna get no argument on the ride home now. Come on now. She looked good. Hair down to her back. So what? It wasn't her. Manicure, pedicure, had everything you wanted. You negated the fact that she had 5 kids. by 5 different people. Come on, help me here. And you try to get her to cook, and she didn't know how to boil a hot dog. Come on, help me here. And now you done got married, and you spending all your money eating out because you like what? Some of you, they sold you a bad car because all you did was look at the outside. Oh, it's shining, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. All I'm saying is we miss God because sometimes God will put a powerful blessing in a raggedy package. Help me preach up in here. So, let me give you some biblical to back it up. God says, I specialize in putting treasures in trash cans. So don't you look down at somebody because they might not look how you think they look. They might not have what you think they ought to have. Don't you look down because we serve a God that'll flip the script. The same one you dogging, you got to beg for a nickel, baby. Help a black man preach. Triumphal entry, they're marching in. This is courageous for Jesus because this march says that he's going to be crucified. He knew up until this point, if you remember, when Jesus would heal, he said, keep it to yourself. Remember when he healed the leper? Hey, come here, don't you say nothing. Everybody get all deep about that. But the reason why he wanted to keep it to himself, because he realized that if word got out about him, they try to kill him before time. And some of us, God has been hiding. Please do not think he's put your gift and has discarded your gift. He's been hiding you because he wants to build you up, because once he reveals you, you got to be able to fight. See, y'all, see,